Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me here, and I appreciate all your attendance and the time here. I wouldn't keep you very long between this presentation and the lunch. I'll try to also make it a little bit more lively and exciting. Anant Agrawal, I am one of the delivery directors in Skillmine. I live in Mumbai, but nowadays I'm spending quite a bit of time in Delhi. The last 30 to 40 minutes, I was listening to all the such renowned, knowledgeable speakers, and thanks for a fantastic session moderated by Mr. Jaspreet. And I was listening to most of the gentlemen here. One thing which was striking to my mind was that it feels like we are living in the world of constraints. I would like to change the tables 180 degree. Actually, for us to focus on, we are living in a world which is abundant with knowledge, with capabilities, with possibilities, with probabilities. And that's what I'm trying to possibly bring a little bit of more spin to this particular topic of cybersecurity. And some of the topics which are entangled within the topics is, yes, AI, automation, hyper-automation, and what agentic AI or the knowledge of AI can actually do. But I'm actually trying to put that particular thing from a possibilities angle perspective. And I'm just trying to put that particular context in my next 5 to 7 minutes of presentation. The world has changed, but has the security changed? The basics and the fundamental principles of the security remain the same. So what has changed? What I mean by the world has changed means the number of threat vectors have changed. How these threat vectors come across to you has changed. There is an insider and then an outsider. We live in the world of distribution computing. We live in a world of information blast. So many things have changed. Our kids, when I was a young boy, I never had any information age. But our kids who are now 4 years old also use computers. So the context has changed, the paradigm has changed, and a lot of things have changed. And enterprises are now starting to fight with the new age threats. And there is some kind of a human fatigue which is also kind of bringing in. What we can do in some of these cases? One of the approaches, if we all reflect upon, is that on the topic of cybersecurity, we have been somewhat defensive approach. I will have my guardrails built in. I will have my firewalls built in. I will have my data security built in. How can I actually get ahead in the game to actually try not to be defensive, but a little bit of more aggressive approach? And with so much abundance, that's what I'm trying to bring to this august audience here. And that is where I'm trying to bring everybody's attention to. Alerts or alarms which is going through human analysis, which probably is now being done with AI correlation. Action can be done with automated containment, with human validation. Yes, this is where we have taken few baby steps, right? So some of the analysis can be done by AI correlation, which is happening in today. What is the future? Where do we go from here? That's what the context of my presentation is. So what we want to move towards is not 1x, 2x, but 10x faster, how we actually want to do. If we want to really go and attack the attacker, we need to have much more agility, much more decision making, much more faster speeds of how do we do things. And obviously, there will be some bruises on the body, so we need to have much more fast healing processes inbuilt into that. And obviously, we need much more observability and end-to-end visibility of what happened, where happened, to actually learn the lesson, which is a much more ingredient of a fast healing process. Right. So, intelligence, integration, and immunity. And how does this come into play? And that is what I'm talking about, not automation, but a super hyper automation. Yeah, just to stop here. So we have a lot of uh, technologies in play, which are OEM provided, network security, data security, cloud security, and so many, all of them. All of them are generating alerts and events. That's where we need to normalize all these events, which is pretty much SMTP information, any particular protocol information. We have been talking in the industry when we talk about smart operations in mean time to detect. We want to talk about mean time to ingest. That is the first pillar of the hyper automation. That will come through normalizing anything. Now, this cannot be formatted, whether it is an alert or an alarm or an email or a voice call or any particular thing. It has to be normalized to do a mean time to ingest. Once you have mean time to ingest, yes, you use AI and enrichment and other things to do a mean time to detect. Next slide. Mean time to detect will lead to, from your hyper automation through your playbooks, will actually design your mean time to response. Next. A lot of case books are available, and this can be further standardized to look at case assignment, so identification and assignment. What can be done from an investigation and a response through can be done through a built-in case management. Next. 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 Now I'm talking about your autonomous SOC. So we have a lot of SIM solutions and SOC solutions. This can be then replayed back into your context analysis using your AI agents to actually do your investigation. And when you have a lot of case books and playbooks, you can actually do much, much faster forensics. Next. Then comes a lot of your endpoints. So how does these endpoints get respond to that? Yeah, keep going. I'll keep talking. So the endpoints can actually use a lot of methodologies and processes like sigmas. Your AI can actually help in investigation and forensics through that particular thing. One of the good things which also I want to talk about is, we talk about LLMs, right? So the large language models. A lot of cyber knowledge is built into LLMs, but we are actually talking about micro LLMs here. So we can distill a domain-specific LLM knowledge into a micro LLM, with the size of a micro LLM for a particular threat vector could be hardly few MBs. So you can actually embed these micro LLMs into your air gap environment, whereby none of your alarms, your IP information, your intellectual information is actually going out to either a Gemini or a ChatGPT or any particular groks of the world, but it remains within your air gap environment to actually deal with that AI intelligence by ways of micro LLMs, which is called domain-specific LLM. And there can be multiple micro LLMs which can be inbuilt. And that is what, previous slide please. That is what this particular methodology and this particular ways of working can then lead to your SOC video walls and dashboards and some of the other. You can use embed a Google Glass onto this to actually focus on some of these things. So basically, from alerts and alarms to mean time to ingest to detect to response, but actually use your case books and playbooks, depend on AI to actually decide on the action, take those decisions, and actually showcase that this was a problem and this has been resolved. If this runs in a particular environment for 3 months, 6 months, it actually starts to map your entire endpoint which is there through the tools, and whatever new you add through change management, it is already hyper automated and super adaptive to take on whatever new unit, new business, new location, new department, new function your business is trying to create. Cyber has to be ahead of the game. We cannot keep on reacting. That's what I wanted to actually bring this audience into a little bit of contextualization. And there are existing tools and technologies which are available. It's just about changing how we think. Next slide. Basically, that was the core context of my presentation. I'll quickly try to give a 2-minute overview about a Skillmine. We're now 15 years old company, present all across India and 3 international cities. Next slide, please. We have 3 verticals: digital, cyber, cloud, and IT infra. Cyber cannot be looked at alone as a cyber thing. We as a tech company need to know what is there in a Java code and what is there in an AI code. What is there in my cloud transactions and how my data is stored, what kind of tenancy is there and what kind of DR capabilities there, how my network traffic is flowing across that. We as a company having these verticals, we try to bring this, I wouldn't be super modest, but that degree of versatility actually gives us a much more one-stop shop kind of an arrangement to pick some tech nut from one business unit or one department to other to actually work on a particular problem. We are not just a services company. We have now, over the last 5 years of investment, have developed few products. Auth is a ZTNA multi-factor single sign-on solution, completely make in India, full stack, open stack, on-prem and on cloud. So those principles remain same for our own cyber GRC platform, which manages and automates complete through a distilled LLM, be it multiple frameworks across regulators. A bank nowadays also sells insurance, also sells stock, also is, so RBI, SEBI, IRDA, and whatnot, PCI and other things. So, but it has got only one data center and one network. So we need to look at regulation also in consolidation. Go back. DataV is our own AI-based data analytics engine, and Skillzen is one new product which we have just launched 2 weeks back. This is our Desi version of AI-based training in multilingual, multi-audio, multi-language, be it any topic. And this is not a training engine, but it is a enterprise-wide knowledge retention, faster onboarding, faster deployment. Anybody, I mean, IRCTC can use it for safety standards for their railway catering, to ONGC can use it for what are the best SOPs for my rig operations, or NTPC can use it for its thermal operations or whatnot. So it is a knowledge retention, knowledge creation. It can take up all your content and refine it the way you want, and we can start certifying our own colleagues around the best practices operation, retain our knowledge with AI to build it all within your own air gap environment. That's what Skillzen is. Sorry. Some of our hero projects, so we're proud to say that we run the cybersecurity SOC for NIC. We've been running it for American Express, for Sony, for Quest Global, around various different aspects about Boeing, Airbus, Halliburton, Rolls-Royce and all that. We call ourselves a Skillmine because this is something which I am very passionate about, and get support from my team about keep on mining our skills to be ahead of the game, to look at how we can apply ourselves and show what true value Indians can bring to the tech enterprises. Thank you very much for listening to me. If there are any questions, I'm happy to take.